Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming through. We'll be starting our program in just a few minutes as we get to the official launch. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the official launch of the Technology Information Confederation, TICON Africa, which will be hosted this year in Zambia. And soon we'll get to talk more about this event, the significance of it, and also get to hear from the different hosts as well as those involved with making sure this event gets to happen. Allow me to first and foremost recognize the presence of the Director, Domestic Trade, under the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Margaret Chukwa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Allow me also to recognize the presence of the host organizations, the ICT Association of Zambia, the Zambia Institute of Marketing, as well as the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply. Allow me also to recognize the presence of the president of TICON Africa, who is here with us. We do have Mr. David Gow. I saw him somewhere in his, there he is, in his fugu. He came through in his fugu. I guess the tradition does continue. Also present is the president of ASCON, Mr. Ronald Lalazi, as well as honorary member of the AMC, Mr. Matongo Matamwandi. The media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. My name is Jimwega Chileshe, and I'm your moderator for today. We'll start off by taking a look at this video, just like for us to pay attention to the screen here and take a look at the 2026 conference, TICON, and get a better understanding of it.
We really need to work closely together. We need to collaborate and congregate together. So events like this are really critical. So we definitely should have more of this. And in 2026, let's get everyone here.
Africa's not one country, it's 54 different countries, and everyone has their own challenges and solutions. By bringing everyone together to network and share insights, we can assist in helping African professionals find solutions to their own unique problems.
Africa's biggest marketing, supply chain, and ICT conferences are
Africa's brightest minds in marketing, ICT, and supply chain are gathering in Zambia to connect, collaborate, and lead Africa's next chapter. Make sure you secure your place among them.
We are celebrating our collaboration, our integration, but also who has the best solution to the problems we are solving.
See you in Livingstone.
All right, are we ready for Livingston, ladies and gentlemen? Ready for the conference? Hopefully we are, as we get to make this happen and have a successful one for the year 2026. Allow me to also recognize the presence of the president of the AMC, Helen Kinti, as well, who is present today. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this official launch that we are having here at the Intercontinental Hotel. We'll start off with just some welcoming remarks coming through from the host organizations. And representing the host organizations, please let us welcome the president of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Mr. Mwewa Vesa. Round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. The Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, represented by Director for Domestic Trade and Commerce, Mrs. Margaret Chukwa, guest of honor, senior government officials present, the President and Council of the World Marketing Confederation, who I believe are joining us online, the President and Board of the African Marketing Confederation, Mrs. Ellen McKinty, the President and Board of the TICON, David Gow, and the President of ASCON, Ronald Lalazi, the President and Council of the ICTAs, and the President and Council of the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply, the President of Zambia Institute of Public Relations and Communication, members of the Council present, Chief Executive Officers, Directors from corporate partners, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both a privilege and a great honor to warmly welcome you to this important media launch that marks the beginning of our communication and advertising of the forthcoming joint conference that will bring members of the Technology Information Confederation Africa TICON, the African Supply Chain Confederation ASCON, and the African Marketing Confederation under the theme Africa Rising from Continental Strength to Global Impact. I'm deeply humbled to be given the opportunity to warmly welcome you to this important event on behalf of the presidents of the Information and Technology, ICTAs, the president of ZIPS, the president of Public Relations, and indeed, on my own behalf as president of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. Allow me to start by expressing our profound and heartfelt gratitude to the guests of honor for accepting our invitation to grace this occasion. Your presence reflects government's continued commitment to strengthening the private sector, advancing innovation, and supporting professional institutions that help spur economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, today's gathering represents far more than the launch of a conference. It represents a powerful moment of collaboration. For the first time, leading professional bodies representing technology, supply chain management, marketing, and communication are coming together to host a joint professional conference that will bring our members, partners, and continental colleagues under one roof at the beautiful Avani Victoria Falls in Livingston. This collaboration reflects a powerful reality of the African adage that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. This adage is a true reflection of the modern economy of no single profession drives progress alone. Technology powers innovation. Supply chain connects production to markets. Marketing builds brands and drives demand. Communication shapes the narratives that inspire trust and influence global perception. When these disciplines work together, they create a complete ecosystem for enterprise growth, trade competitiveness, and national development. Ladies and gentlemen, this joint conference will therefore be more than a professional gathering. It will be a meeting of minds, ideas, and opportunities to shape policy and help redefine the future of Africa. It will provide our members with an invaluable platform to exchange knowledge and best practices across industries, build cross-professional partnerships that strengthen value chains, explore how digital transformation is reshaping business and communication, position Zambian professionals at the center of Africa's evolving economic landscape. Most importantly, it will demonstrate that collaboration among professionals is the key to unlocking Africa's full potential. For our members, this conference offers an exceptional opportunity to learn, connect, and lead. For our corporate partners, it provides a unique platform to engage with decision makers, thought leaders, and professionals who are shaping the future of African enterprise. For Zambia, it positions our country as a hub for professional excellence, innovation, and continental dialogue. And for Africa, it signals that our professionals are ready to work together to to build stronger institutions, stronger brands, and stronger economies. Ladies and gentlemen, Livingstone, home of the magnificent Victoria Falls, will provide more than just a beautiful setting for this gathering. It will become a meeting place, a meeting point of ideas, partnerships, and opportunities that will shape the future of our professions and our continent. We therefore encourage our members, partners, and stakeholders to participate actively in this historic joint conference. To us, to let us come together, not only to attend a conference, but to build networks, to shape knowledge, and to inspire the next chapter of African innovation and leadership. Once again, on behalf of ICTAS, ZIPS, ZIM, and indeed ZIPRAC, we warmly welcome you and thank you for joining us in launching what promises to be a truly landmark event for Zambia and the African professional community, more so that we are at the point of putting the African Continental Free Trade Area into a reality that will demand greater collaboration across the African continent as we seek to arise and move from continental strengths to global impact. Together, let us make this conference a resounding success. Thank you, and God bless Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So just from hearing from Mr. Mwera, who is president of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, and he's representing the host organizations. That's the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply, as well as the ICT Association of Zambia. Now, to get to the Africa Rising Joint Conference, which is being put together, which the different confederations present, the AMC, TICON Africa, and ASCON, we'll get to hear from the president of AMC to represent the confederations. Let's put our hands together for Ms. Helen McKenty. Round of applause for her.
Great. Good morning, everybody. I think the reason, I'll get to it a little bit later, but I think the reason Mr. Beza and I are going first. Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes? Okay. I will shout. Okay, good morning, everybody. And I think the reason that Mr. Beza and I are going first, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this later, is that the African Marketing Confederation has been around just a little bit longer than TICON and ASCON, but I will hand over to TICON and ASCON later to explain what their goals and achievements are. And we were talking outside about the benefits of traditional paper or phones. So let me start again. Esteemed dignitaries, all media present, friends and colleagues, members from all our three confederations, all international association members here present, it gives me great pleasure to address you this morning. As you have heard, we are delighted to be having our joint confederation conference held here in beautiful Zambia on the banks of the Zambezi River. The AMC's relationship with Zambia and the Zambia Institute of Marketing goes back way to even before the AMC was founded. When around 2009, I was privileged to be invited up to Lusaka to present at the Zambian Institute of Marketing conference, national conference. Then in 2011, we had our first ever meeting to discuss the formation of the African Marketing Confederation in Livingstone. We have come full circle and now celebrate our first ever meeting. We now celebrate 15 years of the AMC here again in Zambia. Quite an achievement. The AMC has been growing and we now represent 24 African countries, including 9 Francophile countries and 2 Portuguese-speaking countries. We continue to grow and are frequently welcoming new members and collaborations. Our recent collaborations internationally with the Asia Marketing Federation and the European Marketing Confederation has led to the recent launch of the World Marketing Council, of which I'm honored to have been elected the first vice president. Under the leadership of Professor Ferat Anwar, based in Bangladesh, the newly elected WC president, and Ralph Strauss, based in Hamburg, the second vice president, the World Marketing Council will embark on global marketing research projects, establishing global marketing awards, and networking opportunities across all continents. We will celebrate the launch by co-hosting the first AMC conference in Livingston, which we expect to be attended by all members of the World Marketing Council Founding Council, representing Bangladesh, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, South Africa, and hopefully China, if they can get here. So that's quite a milestone. Can we have a round of applause for the World Marketing Council? However, in addition to this milestone at the conference in September, we will once again share the stage with our fellow confederation, TICON Africa, a rapidly growing confederation of Africa's top ICT professionals. As the merging of ICT and marketing continues, this event promises to be an opportunity for all of us to discuss and converse about the trends that are affecting both our industries. I'm also honored to present to you the newly formed but fast-growing Africa Supply Confederation that will bring yet another dimension to our three-day Pinnacle African networking event. I will now hand over and let our AMC fellow Confederation colleagues explain further. Thank you for attending. I look forward to chatting further over refreshments. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So soon we'll be hearing from honorary member of the AMC, Mr. Matongo Matamwandi, who is present with us this morning. Allow me to recognize also the presence of the Ministry of Technology and Science, Director Planning and Information, Mr. Derek Savoy, who has just joined us. Thank you for coming through as well. And soon we'll be hearing from him. But before that, we'll get to hear from the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Director for Domestic Trade, Margaret Chikuba. A round of applause for her, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everyone. Do we have marketers in the room? Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to stand before you this morning. I would like to, on behalf of the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, recognize the presence and representation of the Ministry of Technology and Science Director, any senior government officials that are present in the room. I would like to recognize the President and Council of the World Marketing Council online. I would like to recognize the presence of the board of AMC, Helen, the President and the board of TICON, David, the President and the board of ASCON, Ronald. I would like to recognize the presence of the President and Council of the Information and Communications Technology Association of Zambia, President and Council of the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply, President of the Public Relations, present, members of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. I would also like to recognize the President of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, members of the conference organizing committee present, Chief Executive and Director of cooperating partners that are present here, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Oh, it sounds like we have no marketers. Good morning once again. It is really my honor and pleasure to stand before you once more. The Institute of Marketing and membership of marketing locally has been a great strength to the ministry in terms of value addition. We have by all means tried to provide the support that government can provide at all times. And at this particular time, it is really an honor and pleasure to provide the support that we've been providing to the local marketing institution. And now that we can actually extend it to the African Marketing Confederation Conference, we are truly grateful to have the honor to hold your hand and support you as you come to launch and market the upcoming conference. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to indicate on behalf of government that Zambia's selection as a host of this prestigious gathering, which is coming up in Livingstone, is not merely a win for the marketing profession in Zambia or in Africa, but it is a resounding vote of confidence in Zambia's growing reputation as a premier destination for hosting meetings, conferences, and exhibitions, and a hub for continent and making Zambia become a hub for continental intellectual capital. The theme for this conference that's coming up, as has been already indicated by President for Zambia Institute of Marketing, Africa Arising, from continental strength to global impact through marketing leadership, brand, power, and value, speaks directly and speaks volumes and speaks to what this country's economic agenda is all about. Not only Zambia's economic agenda, but Africa's economic agenda, ladies and gentlemen. In September, when we will gather in Livingstone, we will witness a historic convention, and we will witness for the first time the African Marketing Confederation joining forces with colleagues in ICT sector through TICON Africa. We thank you for joining us, and also joining together with the supply chain community through the Africa Supply Chain Confederation, ASCON. Congratulations, and we must give them a round of applause for this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to have these parties join together in a manner that they have to do so, because we need to recognize that at all times, any product, any service or good of any nature that requires to be on the market requires an efficient supply chain. And for that product to scale up, it requires in this age technology that is very robust. And then to find itself worthy customers that will find value in the product, we need marketing that is of a world-class nature. These pillars, ladies and gentlemen, technology, supply chains, public relations, and marketing, are the collective engines that will drive Africa's continental free trade area and unlock Africa's immense economic potential. Our marketers, in 2026, your role is no longer just to sell product or to show value of the product. You are the architecture of Brand Africa. You will need to brand the continent to be able to show the value that this continent has. You are the ones to tell the story, to communicate what the value of African products is, and our emerging technology startups in a way that commands recognition and value of the global stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we are hopeful and we look forward to Livingston meeting, because even as we prepare for that meeting, we need to take heed to the core of what our leaders have been saying, which is we must move away from being a mere exporter of raw materials and instead become exporters of finished products, branded and high-value African products, and marketing and an efficient supply chain, good technology is what will take us to that space. Ladies and gentlemen, the economic impact of the conference that's to come will also be significant in the sense that, one, we expect over 2,000 delegates to travel to Livingston, bringing tangible benefits not only to the hospitality sector, but to the transport sector as well, and to the value-add sector of marketing. But beyond the immediate economic value of the conference, we hope to bring together the brightest minds across Africa, creating a platform to share homegrown strategies and initiatives, ideas tailored to our unique market in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, as government, we are here to affirm our full support to the Zambia Institute of Marketing, to the African Marketing Confederation, to the technology, ICT sector, the supply chain, and the public relations to ensure that this conference becomes the most successful gathering in the Confederation's history. It is now on behalf of government, my singular honor and privilege to officially declare the promotional campaign for the 5th African Marketing Confederation Conference officially launched. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Director, Domestic Trade, under the Ministry of Commerce, Trade, and Industry. And indeed, it'll be good to see a very successful joint conference. And like she said, to be one to make it for the books. Speaking of the confederations, allow me to also recognize the presence of the founder and initiator of these confederations, Mr. Nigel Tattersall. Round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Must bring you a lot of joy seeing this come together, doesn't it? At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to hear from the confederations. We'll start with TICON Africa. We'll hear from the president of TICON Africa, Mr. David Go. A round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. Happy to see you again. I look different, isn't it? Yeah, now our president has given us orders that anywhere we go, we need to announce our presence by wearing our fugu. And there's no other place to wear fugu and be recognized than in Zambia, isn't it? I was mobbed at the airport. I wore a different one when I got in here. and instantly I was given the green light to just pass by the immigration, which is good. I'm so happy to be back here. Zambia is a beautiful country, and Lusaka is so clean. Clap for yourselves. I lived and worked here in the early 2000s, and I've not been back here since 2009. It's been 17 years. And Lusaka has really transformed. And my family and I still consider this place our second home. So it is not surprising that we are back here, because 3 years ago, Nigel invited us to come together with AMC already established to form another continental association called the TICON Africa. And whilst AMC was having their first conference just across the falls to Victoria Falls, Nigel, Yanni, and the ICT Association of Zambia President, Dr. Clement Siangwe, and 3 other presidents from other ICT associations converged in a small room and started designing how to bring together ICT professionals through their national associations together as TICON Africa. And I'm very excited that in the last 4 years, we've been able to grow that continental membership from a small number of 5 to 16 members across the continent. And I think this is quite impressive, to begin to bring together people who are working in the technology field, but basically are working in silos, although they may even be neighbors. And that idea, that concept, has now been pushed further to have ASCON, which is the supply chain. This is going to expand further and further. And I believe that we'll eventually have a larger continental group and begin to chart a path for Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited because I want to tell you a little bit about TICON Africa. TICON Africa unites and empowers ICT professionals and national ICT professional bodies across the continent. And as of now, we have membership in excess of 120,000 across the continent and growing. These are people changing lives and connecting and supporting, enabling other professions across, because without technology today, none of our professions can function properly. Through education, collaboration, knowledge sharing, it fosters innovation and excellence in technology. TICON Africa drives continental alignment by enabling cross-country collaborations on digital priorities such as skills development, cybersecurity awareness, regulatory readiness, governing industry, government, academia, and the private sector. It turns strategic dialogues into partnerships and actionable programs. Our mission is to build a connected and thriving ICT community that equips ICT professionals with the skills, network, and opportunities needed to drive Africa's digital transformation, whilst advancing standards, certifications, and continental thought leadership. So with TICON Africa, we are not only IT guys who come and fix your computers, we're actually part of the strategic leadership to ensure that Africa unlocks opportunity and Africa is able to prosper. And I think one of the main drivers to get this done across the continent is this beautiful country called Zambia. On behalf of the leadership, we want to invite all professionals in the ICT space to prepare and join us in Livingston from the 23rd to 25th of September so that we can continue this dialogue. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Go. We get to hearing from another Confederation leader. And here we're talking about the African Supply Chain Confederation, and representing the Confederation is the president, Mr. Ronald Mlalazi. Round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning and greetings to you. I here stand on behalf of a community that comes from the supply chain environment. We seem to be the youngest, but I hope we'll be the fastest growing one in the next few years. The African Supply Chain Confederation was founded in Ghana last year, and 7 professional bodies formed the founding members. Today, ASCON has grown to 11 members. We have not stopped. We are hoping by the time we turn 1 year, we will have probably 15, if not more. It started when we converged in Ghana, and now we are talking of a commerce convergence that now includes TICON and AMC. So I'm speaking this morning on the subject Africa Commerce Convergence. Now, this is the moment we stop working in professional silos and start operating as a unified economic engine. This convergence is the deliberate synchronization of supply chain through ASCON, marketing through AMC, and technology through TICON. Right here in Zambia, this power is represented by the alliance of the Zambia Institute of Procurement and Supply, which is ZIPS, the Zambia Institute of Marketing, which is ZIM, and the Information and Communication Technology Association of Zambia, which is ICTAS. We are not just a conference, but we are a confederation. And ASCON's objective is to professionalize the African supply chain as the engine of continental wealth. But in 2026, we recognize a fundamental truth. A supply chain without technology is blind. Without a market is hollow. And without a chain, it is broken. Together, we form the golden triangle of African business and economic growth. When we align the what, the who, and the how, and we create a powerhouse that converts Africa's strength into global impact. Now, what are we going to talk about at the conference? There are three fundamental themes that we are going to focus on that are aligned to the ASCON strategic objectives. The first theme is industrialization and transformation. We use the supply chain as an economic lever by positioning supply chain at the heart of policy. We drive local content and the beneficiation, moving from exporting raw materials to exporting made in Africa value. And number two, we are also going to focus on technology and innovation. This is our path to transparency. By deploying AI and blockchain or any other tools from the IT side, we don't just buy software. We digitize integrity to eliminate red tape and corruption. And the third theme that we are going to be focusing on at the conference is breaking trade barriers. This is the core of continental integration. Through advocacy, we ensure that professional standards and the goods move as freely across this continent as the Zambezi River. In achieving this, from a supply chain perspective, there are four things that are always moving. Number one, goods and services. ASCON optimizes the movement, AMC identifies the demand, and TICON provides the edge. As a result, we deliver customer value and a solid brand promise. Number two, information. TICON builds the architecture, AMC provides the consumer data, ASCON makes the supply decisions. We move from guessing to data-driven certainty. Number three, money. TICON's fintech and ASCON's transparency/trade risk, thereby resulting in accountability in the public sector and profitability in the private sector. And lastly, people and talent. ASCON sets the standards and the transdisciplinary competencies. AMC and TICON provide the tools for modern leadership. This drives high velocity professional mobility across Africa. Going back to some of the objectives of ASCON, which is to promote mobility through recognition and influence. Central to our mission is mobility. We are building a future where African professionals are not limited by borders. We believe we achieve this through, number one, enhance the competencies, making the ASCON professional a global mark of excellence. Number two, professional reciprocity. Ensuring a certified professional in Zambia is recognized in Ghana, in Kenya, in Morocco, or across Africa and globally. Number three, C-suite influence. We must translate technical metrics into boardroom language that covers risk, growth, sustainability, and profitability. If we cannot translate a lead time delay into a risk to the share price or service delivery impact, we are not ready for the boardroom. Our focus is to bridge that gap. In closing, in the public sector, we enhance service delivery. In the private sector, we enhance growth and sustainability. Ultimately, the economic well-being of our citizens and Africa is achieved. As we launch today for our conference that is coming on the 23rd to the 25th of September, let it be a commitment to this convergence. Let us use the supply chain as the key enabler to take our continent from potential to power. The strengths are ours. The convergence is now. Let's lead the impact. I look forward to seeing you in September in Livingstone. I thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. And good to hear the breakdown of how the different confederations are playing their role in ensuring that we see this efficiency. Next, we're going to hear from, once again, the African Marketing Confederation, but this time around from the honorary member, Mr. Matongo Matamwandi. A round of applause for him.
Thank you, Chumeka. As a recently retired government employee, I'm still obliged to observe protocols. So I just want to recognize the presence of the guest of honor, minister represented by Director Domestic Trade. As introduced as an honorary member of AMC, which I'm very proud to have that title, because in the history of the African Marketing Confederation, I was the first person to be given that honor and status. But if I share what I'm going to share, you will probably understand. I was never told how I was honored. I was just taken by surprise at the first conference we had in Zimbabwe. But maybe what I'm going to share with you now, I suspect that's what could have led to that. I'm indeed very excited that what we are witnessing on the African continent now, bringing together three critical professions, marketing, ICT, and supply chain, which I believe these are the commercial side of any economy. With due respect to all other professions, these are the three that actually conveys everything we do into revenue, which we call the economy of any country, and which Africa desperately needs. Marketing adds value by communicating the product. Supply chain ensures the product and the service is delivered to where it's needed. And nothing of these two can happen if there are no ICT platforms. So that commercial side is what we are seeing. But this is just an idea that started, if I remember very well, 17 years ago. I was privileged then to be the president of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, and we are looking at how can we come together and consolidate what we do as marketers on the African continent. And we did then extend an invitation to two people who are here today. So they came to Zambia, I think, for the first time 17 years ago. Nigel, who at that time had acquired the IMM, which is the Institute of Marketing Management in South Africa, And then Helen, that time, was working for the Institute, and Helen came to be a speaker. And fast forward 2 years after that, on beautiful lawns at the Avan Hotel, and we are now joined by the president of the Marketing Association of Zimbabwe, who is Dr. Godfrey Dube. We sat there having some coffee, and we started thinking we can't remain working as individual professional bodies when the whole world is opening up. And that conversation led to generating or mooting the idea of creating an African marketing body, and that's how the idea of AMC started. 17 years later, here we are. AMC's idea transformed and eventually attracted our ICT colleagues, which is TICON. And then eventually last year in Ghana, it gave birth to now ASCON, which is the supply chain. It's not ending there. I think what we'll be seeing in Livingstone, which is the tourism city for Zambia, is now we've realized that for us to commercialize Africa and position it as a continental brand, we need to find a platform, we need to find a vehicle. And a new idea was mooted that we need to create a tourism chapter for Africa so that we use it to position the brand Africa, so that the commercial side of all these professions now can build to creating this Africa that we want to see, the real Africa, and not the Africa that we see mostly in other international media. So it's very, very exciting that we are back to where the idea was mooted. We'll be in Livingstone again to go and meet as professional bodies and see where we can take the commercial side of African economies. So I just want to appeal to the policymakers. I think all my colleagues have addressed the business side, but for policymakers, this is an opportunity. Our guest of honor, other ministers who listen to this, you can't afford to stay away. These conferences will sit to champion how Africa can take its real economic position. We have the youngest population in the world. We have the fastest growing economies are in Africa. We have the best raw materials untapped in Africa. And these are the conversations we are going to have. So we expect that policymakers, directors in ministries, CEOs of government agencies will join us in Livingstone so that together we can reposition Africa as the new world. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matongo Matamwandi there, honorary member of the African Supply Chain Confederation, I beg your pardon, for the African Marketing Confederation. And maybe in due time you understand why he got those honors, as you was wondering earlier. But I believe Helen is there to assist with that. We get to hear from the host organizations. Earlier we heard from Mr. Vesa, who spoke on behalf of the collective that will be hosting the conference here in Zambia this year. But we get to hear from the presidents of one of the host organizations. We do have the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply, Mr. Daniel Kabamba. A round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. Recognizing the presence of the guest of honor, Minister of Commerce and Industry, presented by Director, Commerce and Domestic, Madam Ms. Margaret Chikuba. I recognize the presidents, TICON president, AMC president, and ASCON president. I also recognize the drivers of this gathering, Joe, As also continue to recognize the presence of government officials here, I would also like to not to skip part of the history of the Institute. And the history of the Institute is that when you see people gathering like this, like Jesus Christ said, I'm leaving you an instruction that when you meet, do this in memory of me. So every time we meet as Zambia and as ZIPS, we have an opportunity that the former presidents of the Institute are all present. I hope they are present for the purpose of recognizing their presence. Maybe they just will. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So where we come from, we say, where is a fire pour? As long as the elders are there, you can dance on fire, you can't get burnt. So that's what it means. Apart from that, we have also the council, which is actually the driver and the eyes of the Institute, which are the policy drivers. And I'm sure we have council members present. You are highly recognized. Yes, council members, thank you very much. As ZIPS, we are very much privileged to be part of the founding members of ASCON. And as we might be aware, ZIPS at the same time is very proud that in the history of African success in procurement, it is one of the oldest. Not only one of the oldest, it's actually the oldest. And you may wish to note that procurement and marketing are professional cousins. I don't know whether you have thought about it. So a procurement person goes to class for 4 years, studying the behavior of a marketer. And that's why we invest a lot in negotiations, because these people can sell you a fridge while you live in Antarctic Ocean. And at the same time, the marketers also go to class for 4 years to go and start procurement. That's why you find that every time when a marketer is seated, is next to procurement, because that's where the market is. Funny enough, the ZIM Act, the Zambian Marketing Act, is Act number 14 of 2003 here in Zambia. And the ZIPS Act was Act number 15 of 2003. So you've seen how these people play the games. So because of that, we understand that for us to play this game seriously, we need an invisible eye, an innovator who does not exist, but you only see the results. That's ICT. So as we gather, one of the critical areas that we're looking at it from the procurement side is disruption. We are here today, we are seeing wars taking place, pure disruption taking place. And we understand and appreciate that in the absence of supply chain, no bullet can be supplied, and no bullet can be marketed, and no bullet can be made, because ICT is behind, is at the back of invention. We are growing steadily as an institute. We are sitting closely to about 20 to 25,000 members. We are gathering the influence across the public sector, the private sector, the multilateral, and the NGOs. So it's truly a pleasure to welcome you this morning on behalf of the Institute and its members. We are honored to host you in Zambia. You may wish to note that we are going to go to Livingstone. It is a place where Dr. Livingstone in 1855 founded the Victoria Falls, but was escorted by people who knew it before. Today, it's also an important moment for us, an institute, for the procurement and supply chain profession in Zambia and across the continent. We are deeply honored to have been given this opportunity to host the ASCON conference in Livingstone. You may wish to note that for us to win a bid as Zambia to host ASCON, it was a tendering process. It was quite tedious. So we sat in the room, prepared a bid document, and then adjudication came in, and fortunately, we won. Therefore, this recognition reflects the growing role of our country and our profession are playing in strengthening the supply chain management across Africa. Allow me to take this moment to express our sincere appreciation to our partners who have worked closely with us to making sure that this launch becomes a success. I'd like to recognize the Institute of Marketing, who are our cousins, the ICT, who are night flyers, but they bring results. He who travels in the night is thanked in the morning. Here they are. And because of this, we are going to make sure that the function becomes a success. This partnership, brothers and sisters, is a commitment to showcase an achievement which professional bodies have put together. We know that from the political front, our founding fathers played a very critical role by establishing political independence. We are now taking another dimension of moving away from neocolonialism and come up with economic independence propelled by the gallant profession that we have today. As ZIPS, we remain committed to promoting professionalism, ethical standards, and capacity development. I'd like to emphasize on the principle of capacity development. We may have degrees, we may have diplomas, we may have certificates, but the contemporary actually is catching with us. So many new things are coming. How many of us are aware that X is taking place? How many of us are aware, anticipating to see that because of this war taking place and the problem that is going to come to do with the supply of oils or fuel, the world may, like 2008, enter into a recession? Let's just have to think about it. It's a contemporary matter. And our thinking must go beyond what we see today and what we eat today, but what we are going to eat tomorrow and think tomorrow. I would therefore like to take this opportunity to encourage institutions, professional bodies from all over the corners of Africa and all the partners that are involved in human development to continue imparting knowledge of new ideas that are taking place. For the government, we are very, very grateful, just for information. We are very, very grateful with the government, what the government has done for us. We are very grateful. Our new act now is in place. We have repealed and replaced. We are no longer purchasers. We are procurers now. Are we procurers or procurementers? So we are now the Zambia Institute of Procurement and Supply, and we have a new act. And the president gave us a bonus because our act closed the year. It was actually signed at exactly midnight. Exactly midnight, 31st of December, 2025. So you can see how important we are, that we were the last born. And here, as under ASCON, we are the last born. But like my president indicated, we are growing very well. And to you all, I'd like to thank you so much and make sure that we prepare ourselves to go to Livingstone. And where we go, we are going to Livingstone. This is where the history again will be rewritten, because the history of Victoria Falls was written, and now the growth of African network in terms of procurement, in terms of supply chain, in terms of marketing, and in terms of ICT is going to grow even much longer and higher. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Kabamba, President of the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply. I saw that you took time to also recognize those from ZIPS, which includes the former president, immediate past president, Mr. Robert Tembo, who is present. It's good to see that you're still actively involved in supporting initiatives such as this one. We appreciate you being here. And I must say, because I was actually director of programs when there was the handover ceremony. So good to see that the collaboration is still going on. Last year, what we also saw is Mr. Daniel Kabamba at the ICT Association of Zambia AGM and conference, where he spoke towards this, the importance of collaborations among the professional and regulatory bodies. And good to see that this is happening and being actualized, especially through a conference like this one. Allow me to welcome the next speaker, who is the president of one of the host organizations, the ICT Association of Zambia. Let us welcome Dr. Clement Sinyangwe. Round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. You know the problem of speaking last, when you see the Kawambas speak so this good English, you see the Vesas and others, so you speak very less. But before I go into my little speech, allow me also to just touch a bit of history. Like you heard from the previous speakers, 3-4 years ago, we were invited to go to Vic Falls, where we met just as 5 countries, and we started, talking on the table on how we can collaborate, across Africa. As you know, when we talk of digital space, we have no boundaries. So we said no physical boundary is going to separate the countries in Africa. And here we are. We started with Uganda, very few people. We went to Kenya, Ghana. And during all these, I told the team that 4 years from now, we ensure that TICON and AMC and this conference comes to Zambia. So this thing hasn't started today, but it was a vision that we had. And for us to achieve this, we had to collaborate as the 3 professional body. In IT, for those in IT, we believe in the system theory. And in system theory, we know that for you to achieve a goal, you need to work together and achieve one common goal. So for us to host this conference, it's not the museum, it's not the power of ASCON, nor ICTAS, but it's the efforts from all the 3 professional bodies. We had to put in the bids to ensure that we outdo other people who are interested. Now, allow me to write on the protocols previously said. And ladies and gentlemen, the theme of the 2026 TICON Africa Conference, Africa Rising, Converting Strength into Global Impact with ICT, speaks very well into Zambia's agenda. As you know, in Zambia, we're not playing with ICTs. We mean business. For the past 2 years in a row, the ICT sector has contributed the highest towards the GDP. And this is not mean achievement. This is the reason why, as ICTAS, we thought we invite other people to come and see why ICTAS emerged as the best professional body in Africa. And also why ICTAS swept 8 awards out of how many? 12 awards. I think a lot of people asked me, why is it that Zambia is sweeping all these awards? And I said, you come next year to Zambia and see what we're talking about. And last week's Youth Day commemoration was held under the theme Arise and Soar. And we saw our Republican president who is so passionate about technology. His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema launched the Imisepela application during the commemoration of the national event. It is evident that technology plays a critical role in our economic and social lives. And this app, which was launched by the president, addressed the urgent needs regarding employment and business opportunities amongst the youth. Almost 532 million people in Africa aged between 15 to 35, representing the world's fastest growing market globally. And Africa's 1.4 billion population represents a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion in consumer and business spending. Now, the potential for agriculture, mining, tourism, health, and hospitality are ripe for investment. But importantly, we also recognize the month of March, which was dedicated to women. And we are mindful of the need to enhance female representation in the tech space and in a leadership roles. So the ICT Association of Zambia and TICON Africa have ensured to have women representation as a topmost agenda. We have a chapter for women. And the 2026 TICON Africa will harness the best minds from policymakers, business leaders, researchers, academicians, and ICT professionals to set a path for Africa's digital technology future by conducting facts-based dialogue and analysis of key components around infrastructure, logistics, cross-border trade, currencies, skills development, sustainable energy, and digital skills development. Our sub-themes for the conference in September are digitalizing Africa's resource and energy for sustainability and growth. And another one, Africa's digital workforce, skills, jobs, women's leadership, data protection, privacy and cross-border digital trade compliance, and cybersecurity, e-government, and trusted digital public services. The conference will ensure a continent that is globally competitive and tech-ready with a unified platform to harness the potential of our population. Now, by identifying our strength, we can put together towards a common goal with supports that we'll receive from the government, as the guest of honor assured us, the public sector and the private sector. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to extend our gratitude to our ministries, the Ministry of Technology and Science, and the government for supporting the digital transformation agenda. I think you agree with us that Zambia is growing digitally at a lightning speed. And the progress that Zambia has achieved was recognized during the 2025 TICON Africa Awards, like I mentioned, where Electronic Government Division, Smart Zambia, also won or emerged the winner as the best public sector in ICT Innovation Award. Zambia's digital transformation agenda has continued to receive international attention owing to the progressive policies, legislation, investment, and private-public partnerships and innovations that we hold. In the next few days, I think starting tomorrow, we will see over 600 ICT professionals gathering in Livingstone for the 2026 ICTAS Tech Conference, as we delve into the topic of Zambia's $60 billion by 2031, powered by technology and artificial intelligence. Zambia seeks to position itself as a regional AI technology hub, and we invite you to the TICON Africa 2026 to be part of the tech future. Like I said, we don't want just you to be hearing that Zambia is happening. Oh, Zambia won awards. But we want you to come and see physically why we won all those awards. Let us connect, collaborate, and charter Africa's future at the TICON African Conference in September 2026. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Clemens Nyangwe, President of the ICT Association of Zambia. I know he started off with his bragging rights, and I could see Mr. Kamamba was ready to rebut there with what was being said about the best professional body, which went to ICTAS. But I must say thanks to ICTAS for dressing me up with this shirt. the challenge now goes to the other host organizations to donate one to me. So over to you, Zips. In fact, I would have thought the Zambia Institute of Marketing would take advantage of this. I see the Vice President, Mr. Ngondo, Mr. Besa, Mr. Chola as well, present there. So the challenge is up to you now. We'll turn our attention back to the screen, and we'll just take a look at this video presentation here that focuses on Zambia, the beauty of Zambia, which will be putting the different confederations together for this conference. Let us take a look at this. To take place. One of the sponsors at this year's conference is Access Solutions. So before we get to wind up with our program this morning, we'll get to hear from the regional manager at Access Solutions. Let us put our hands together for Mr. Prince Dube. Round of applause for him. Get to hear their involvement this year and what they're looking forward to.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, distinguished, what do I start with? Ladies and gentlemen. I would like to ride on the previously observed protocols. My task here is really very simple. I'm here to be a marketer of marketers. I represent Access Solutions, a Pan-African healthcare and ICT solutions provider with presence across 12 countries. We innovate, we sell, and we deliver. So I think our story resonates very well with what's happening here. 3 organizations coming together, 3 conferences rolled into one. And for us, really, it's a no-brainer to be a part of this very, very important occasion for all the organizations involved, and of course for Zambia to have this honor this year. So I was ambushed a little bit by the TICON CEO, but I felt it was really important for me to come up here as a sponsor for this year's TICON. I think we should be one of the first to put our hands up. Are we? Yeah. Why? Because we operate in complex markets. I look after DRC, Angola, Mozambique, South Sudan, and Zambia, of course, beautiful Zambia. It's quite difficult to navigate across all these countries without innovation, without the drive to market, and of course, without that integration of being able to move all the different pieces together across the different places. So I am here to invite different organizations, different stakeholders to join us, to join Access Solutions, to be one of these sponsors. This is a very, very important occasion, like I said, and to miss out is really to miss out. There won't be any other occasion like this for quite a while, because I'm sure other countries are also bidding for this. And Zambia is unique in that it sits at the center of most routes. We are connected to 8 other countries, which is a very, very unique position to be in. So come on board, join Access Solutions, sponsor this very, very important conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Mr. Dube for those remarks. As one of the sponsors this year, Access Solutions. And if we do have any other sponsors present, would like to hear from you. From any other sponsors or representatives of one of the sponsors at this year's conference, you're welcome to just give a few remarks if we have any present. Great marketing opportunity if we have any here. Going once, going twice. Okay, I guess we have none others, but along the way, we'll definitely be able to know more of the sponsors this year. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our program for today. Thank you so much for your time and your attendance. I've been your director of programs. My name is Jimwega Chileshe. We do have some food outside, right outside the room, that is, which we'll be getting to. But before that, we just have a group photo session for the presidents of the confederations as well as the host organizations. So just take a group photo so that for the camera team as well, we'll turn our attention to that before we could get to the food. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen.